We're shifting to the bedroom now. We are pouring water on the floor.
All right. Good morning, dear participants. Once again, I want to welcome every one of us to the very first virtual session for ECN3232, Principles of Microeconomics. And everyone on this call is expected to be students of the management sciences. Right now, I can confirm to you that we are live on YouTube. So should you have any other member who is unable to join this call, please advise them accordingly to link up on YouTube. However, the lead professor for this course is about to join us, and I will crave your indulgence for him to join so that he can kickstart the class while I take over from him subsequently. So I'm actually trying to reach out to him. I've just spoken with him. He will be joining us very soon. And once we have that done, the class will commence in earnest. Yes, he's about to join now. I can see him coming on board. All right. All right. Dear participants, yes, dear participants, good morning. My name is Dr. Ayodele Shitu, and I will be taking this course alongside with Professor Olufemi Saibu, who is already on this call. So with your kind permission, I would love to invite Professor Olufemi Saibu to please lead the course of this class, tell us what to expect, and once he gives us the direction, I will take over from him. So, Prof, you have the floor, sir. Thank you very much, Prof.
Good morning, Dr. Shitu, and my students from University of Lagos across faculties and departments. I'm Olufemi Saibu, and I am going to take this course along with other colleagues from Economics Department, and I assure you that you have the best of time, despite the fact that we are going online, and many of you prefer the face-to-face class. But one thing I would just want to let us know before we even go deep into this course is that currently now, because of the challenges we have with our facilities in University of Lagos management decided to see ways of ensuring that the current economic challenges we face does not affect students of University of Lagos in having their classes, and rather than postponing the semester, then they decide to go this online, which we believe is better and cheaper than asking you to come to universities across the country to attend lectures every day, given the challenges we have with transport. And I believe that every one of us will take this opportunity as a privilege and ensure that we take the best advantage of it. So in now coming to this course is in 211, 231, and 232. 211 for those who were using the previous curriculum, and 211 for the revised one, and 232 for the current one. Whoever that had that course in the past will still part of this. So we're having some students who are registering for 231, registering for 211, and then 232. And for the first thing I will let you know is that please, in the course of this class, let us know which one you actually registered for. So when we are documenting your details, your assessment, your results, we'll be able to capture you accordingly. So that when we are uploading your results, we'll be able to upload your results accordingly. So that's about the general course. So as time goes on, we will decide whether we are going to have supplementary classes for this, or whether we are going to have class whereby we split it among the lecturers who are taking this course. But for now, Dr. Shitu will take charge of this course, and then subsequent information will be put across to you. We have created a Zoom link that we will be using. If there is need for us to add another one to it, we'll let you know. But one thing we are likely to do is that we may divide the class into groups, and we are likely to request for University of Lagos email address, for which specifically we will register you for a particular period when you'll be attending your own class. This class is more than 300, and this Zoom link can only accommodate 299. So, and we do not want anybody to miss in the class. So it's possible that we may ask you to be able to register for a particular day, a particular time for this class. Or we will move many of you who cannot join the class by early enough, and then you fall in among those people who are above 300. So, but we are looking for a method and a procedures that allow us to take care interest of everybody in this course. So we are combining two platforms. We'll be combining the Zoom link with our LMS. So all your assignments, all your quizzes, all your tests, not main tests, will be done through the LMS. And we want you to visit the LMS regularly. Every day after every class like this, we will put information into your LMS and which we want you to respond to. Your responses, your interaction with the LMS constitute a major part of your assessment, and we appeal to you to do that. The advantage of LMS is that it is something you can do at your own time. It doesn't have to be during the class, and therefore the limitation that the LMS cannot accommodate such a number of people does not arise. So please, let's just take this one as opportunity for us to combine a lot of this together and still get the best we are looking for. We are using a textbook in Pindic for this course. Is one of the standard textbooks we use in microeconomics. I want you to pick together textbook, either soft or hard copy, and use that as the basis for reading. We do not include so many textbooks so that we will not confuse you. So we are picking that textbook, and all through our lecture notes, our interaction with you, assignment, and so on and so forth, will be based on that textbook. And please get the latest copy online, or if you could afford the hard copy, get that. So that is our test that we are using, and we are going to follow it rigorously and ensure that it's aligned with the curriculum of this course. So please take that textbook. They are available online, and indeed we have sent a copy on this on the WhatsApp group, so you can pick it and read it chapter by chapter to the end. We have structured the content of this course to switch into that also. So please take advantage of the e-copy that you already have in your WhatsApp group. We will use them as your text, and then again, whatever we give in this class like this is just to complement what you have in the book. So, and along the line, we'll also be giving you some materials that will also help you to be able to get a better understanding of that. You have a lot of questions, both multiple questions and short answer questions. We may not necessarily make your exam to be permanently in CBT. As the system improves, If, for instance, we resume before the exam, you may ask to come and do a written exam. We cannot be studying economics and we'll be doing OBJ in all aspects, because economics, accounting, finance require to use your critical thinking to be able to make informed decisions. So we will find a way of incorporating the aspect that are going to engage you critically in your thinking, in ability to make choices, to take decisions, not the one that depend on maybe on probability, that you cannot do probability to decide whether A or B. So please, we need your maximum cooperation. We want you to have the best in this exam, and we assure you that we give you the ultimate that you deserve. Beyond that, we have mechanism to lodge your complaint. Dr. Shitu is always available. So whatever, any of your complaint, there's no unreasonable complaint in this course. Whatever challenge you have, tell us. Nobody's a fool. For you to be in University of Lagos, you are an intelligent person. You are brilliant. You are good. You've crossed a lot of hurdles to be here. So whatever you say, we cannot take it as unreasonable. We will take it as maybe something that's affecting you. There are any solution, and we are here because of you, and you are here because of us, and therefore we are all stakeholders in this program, and we want to be part of your success. So please try as much as possible to let us know immediately when you are. You can, and I prefer a mail or a chat. Don't call, because by the time you are calling, you are breaking us from another assignment we have. And possibly if you're on campus, there's nothing stop you maybe coming to our office to let us know your challenges and let us know. But make sure that you go straight to the point. This is my case, and this is what I'm requesting. So we will look at that promptly and we'll get back to you. We are here because of you, and let us take advantage of this opportunity to improve our results. Many of you are just coming from year 1 to year 2. You are just coming into the system, and now this is a time you are building your career, you are building your profession as well. And economics as a course form the basis of any course you are doing in management sciences and social sciences. So take this course as one of the fundamental courses required to become what you plan to be. So we are here for you, and we are looking forward to very interactive, at least very interesting and exciting experience together. And don't say because I'm in accounting, so we are not your lecturers. Any student of University of Lagos is my student, or I'm a student. So you are all our students, and we are all our lecturers. In this course, like you heard Dr. Shudu said, we don't see you as students. We see you as participant, and we see ourselves as facilitator. What we are doing, we're just facilitating learning. You know some things before you need, and you can even read this thing without us. But we are coming together to exchange ideas. So as class goes on, we want a situation whereby we want to hear your opinion. We ask you questions which we want to answer. And the more you are active in the class, the more we know to you. So as class is going on, one of us will be facilitating, the other person will be taking your participation in class. And also another rules I want you to take note is this. Please, except you are given permission to speak, let your audio be muted. So whatever the reason, make it a kind of maybe default that when you join this call, you are muted. So all those of you are disturbing us, once we get your details, we may penalize you for disrupting the class. This is a normal class, whether it's online or physical. All the rules of physical classes still operate in here. So make sure you are muted. And when you want to speak, just use the reaction of raising up your hand. You will be recognized. Or you send a chat on the chat box. We pick that immediately, and you begin the opportunity to speak. We are here to interact with you, and we ensure the class is as interesting and exciting for you. Dr. Shitu, you can take charge again.
All right. Thank you very much, Prof. And I sincerely appreciate your presence here today. So, dear participants, just as I said, I will quickly do a rundown of our course outline and what the university has expected us to do is to break down the course outline into our work plan, and that's exactly what we are going to follow. Already we are behind schedule, but this notwithstanding, we will try our best possible to cover all that is expected of us. So the very first topic we are going to explore this academic session is the economic foundations. Okay, so here we're expected to focus on definitions, then basic concepts of economics. However, it would interest you to know that these are topics that you have covered last session. So what we have done this time around is to go a little bit above the bar so that you can now apply this concept to reality. After that, we'll move on to production and trade. Then we look at supply and demand, elasticity concept, market failure, consumer choice, production and costs, as well as perfect market analysis, imperfect market analysis, and we would move back to factor market analysis and we round off for the semester. So what we have done under the able leadership of Professor Saibu, as you can see, is to break down all of these into bits for you to see, inclusive of the day that we are expected to have our first CA assessment, which comes up on the 9th of December. But we're going to review this now, given the fact that we are a little bit behind schedule. So this has been made available to us on our WhatsApp group. So without wasting much time, dear participants, let's move on to the main class for today, which is the foundations of economics. Interestingly, I do not understand how I did the slide, but thank God I had converted to PDF with the hope of sharing with every one of us. So the real PDF, the real PowerPoint, I just can't locate it. So please bear with me, but this will be made available to us. So for today's class, dear participants, there are four important things that we are going to look into. The first is the uniqueness of microeconomics. So at the end of this session, you are expected to be able to explain why microeconomics is unique as a subject. Then, is microeconomic theories relevant, particularly in today's 21st century? Of course, the answer is yes. But what we expect from you after this session is to be able to explain to us specific relevancies of microeconomic theories. Economics is often said to be an art. Some argue that it is a science, while we generally are of the opinion that economics is a social sciences. Irrespective of which category you belong to, analysis of perspectives are involved. So how do we conduct analysis in economics, be it policy or otherwise? We use two major methods: positive analysis and normative analysis. At the end of this session, we expect that you will be able to develop specific criteria for you to compare and contrast these two methods of analysis in economics. And finally, we're going to look at the concept of economic unit. But one important thing I'm going to do today is that I will not discuss this in depth because every one of us constitutes an economic unit. Instead, we would also pay more attention to the importance of microeconomics knowledge. And what this implies is that you will also be expected to state at least 5 important reasons why every one of you on this call this morning should not take the subject of microeconomics for granted. There is a general saying amongst management sciences students. And what is that saying? After all, I'm not in economics. It's just for me to pass. We disagree with this notion because whether you are in insurance, you will be talking about the demand for insurance. Whether you are in accounting, you will be talking about costs and implications. Whether you are in management sciences, you will be talking about demand for talents and the cultivation of talents. And how do you use this talent productively to achieve organizational goals? So, irrespective of the spectrum of management sciences that you will be practicing tomorrow, you cannot underplay the impulse of microeconomics knowledge. So, we move on, dear participants. Why is microeconomics unique? From the recommended textbook that we have provided to you, Pindick and Rubinfield, it is stated that microeconomics is the most relevant, interesting, and important subject you can study, irrespective of the field you belong to. Microeconomics remains very relevant. It will always be an interesting course, and more importantly, you can always do without it. I mean, you can't do without it for several reasons. We have identified a few of these reasons, and we would be sharing that with you this morning. The very first reason is decision making. You would recall when you were in year one, we mentioned that microeconomics is the study of individual economic agents within a given society. This includes me, your facilitator, you, the participants, every lecturers in the University of Lagos community, members of our family, and every other firms, including government agencies across board. Every one of us makes decisions. A very good example is your choice of attending this session this morning. I am sure this wasn't a decision you made just this morning. Some made that decision since last week when the link was provided. Some mixed that link, got it yesterday, and pre-prioritized their scale of preference and ensured that they made that decision to be present here this morning. So decision making is not only about whether to attend this class or not. Decision making also touches on resources identification, resource allocation, or resource distribution. If you paid attention yesterday, the news were agog with state governors across the Federation presenting their budget proposals to their respective state assemblies. This is an important policy document that spells out how governments will be making decisions with regards to allocation of resources. Don't also forget that in economics, our needs are plenty but they remain unsearchable. Hence, resources are considered to be what? Scarce. And for you to get the best of these resources, you must learn to make good decisions. This is one of the reasons why you are in this session this morning. The second reason, dear participants, why microeconomics is unique as a subject is because policies are important. We have to design policies, we have to implement the policies, and we have to evaluate the policies. What are policies in the first place? Policies constitute statements of actions which the government of a state has identified in order to influence the social well-being of the people. So, if you have an understanding of microeconomics, one important thing this does for us is to better understand the behavior of people living within our vicinity. And once you can understand this behavior, that will help us channel our policy demands, make it align with the needs of the people, and we implement it accordingly. And that is why we cannot afford to ignore these methods of analysis, because when you implement these government policies, you should be asking yourself two important questions. One, what is the reason d'etat for this policy? Then the second question would be, what should be the outcome of these policies? Talking about positive and normative policy analysis. So when you understand microeconomics, it doesn't just give you a clearer understanding of policy at the government level, it will also help you to understand how policies are designed even at the micro level. Take, for example, you all belongs to the Management Student Association. Last session before we rounded up, you voted in some of your colleagues to lead the affairs of this association this academic session. I am very confident that the president and its ESCOs would have rolled out programs to be implemented this academic session. With your understanding of microeconomics, you will be able to evaluate these policies and determine the effectiveness of its implementation at the end of this academic session. Information uncertainty is another reason why microeconomics is very strong today, because each and every economic agent is rational in his or her own right. And we need the capacity to leverage information at our disposal, because the economic space in which individuals, households, or the firm thrives is characterized with uncertainty. A knowledge of microeconomics will help us to shape how information are disseminated, how information are analyzed, utilized, evaluated, and used for the good of individuals. household, and firms within the society. Dear participants, can there be a functional economy without any economic agents?
No, sorry, bear with
The
Dr. Shitu.
understanding.
Okay.
Yes, Prof.
Because I
We
know the light
need
went up.
the
Light went up
understanding.
there. Okay.
Yes, yes. So I had to switch immediately. I was prepared. All right. So we need the understanding of individual behavior, household behavior, and firm behavior to be able to achieve a functional economy. Dear participants, it will be right to say that the study of microeconomics focuses on the individual units that make up the entire economy. Today, we appreciate the fact that the study of microeconomics is relevant. It is interesting and it is important because it facilitates decision making, it influences policy design and implementation, it empowers us to analyze information in order to capitalize on economic uncertainties and to also build functional economy. So these are the several theories that there are several theories that are embedded in microeconomics. Starting from next week, we would begin to see theories from production, theory from consumption, theories from the markets, theories from even the welfare space. So we're going to be examining consumption theories. In the course of this class, we would examine production theories. In the course of this class, we're going to examine market theories, labor theories, and welfare theories. Why we wouldn't want to bore you with the specific theories under all of this umbrella that I have mentioned, we need to know why these theories are regarded as relevant and why you must take them serious when we start exploring them one after the other. The first is demand and supply. I am so excited, dear participants, that for the first time in the history of Nigeria, everyone has suddenly become an analyst talking about the demand and supply of fuel, PMS in the country. This is the best I can give to you this morning. Of course, there are other examples, but this everyone can relate with because the lacuna between the demand for PMS and the supply of PMS has become a black spot which we are struggling to understand, and the consequences is biting hard on every one of us, given that we live in a society where virtually all our production activities are powered by fuel, thanks to the epileptic power supply, poor transportation infrastructure, and our inability to diversify our modes of transportation across the country. So you are going to be studying theories that will help you to understand why demand for fuel is important and why Nigeria as a country needs to work more on producing fuel locally so that the supply can match up with the demand for fuel. This is not to say that that is the only relevant example. Your coming to school this morning is being taken serious by both your parents and even the University of Lagos management because of the issue of demand and supply. You are demanding for quality education, and it behoves the University of Lagos to offer you quality educational services. And that is what we are trying to achieve this morning. Let me also break it down further. How many of you on this call have had your breakfast this morning? If not, I am sure you will still have your breakfast after this session. You will either demand for bread and egg, and some will say, I would rather go for La Cream's coconut rice. As little as this may look, we are simply practicing demand and supply. Microeconomic theories also guides our ability to make decisions. And that is why the concepts of want, need, choice, scale of preferences are very important. And once you understand these concepts, they help us to guide our decisions, or they guide our ability to make the right decisions. When to get out of bed, when to get ready for class, when to socialize, when to go for movies, when to go to the library to study, how to prepare for the exams, etc. These are important micro decisions that you are making. And how best you make these decisions depends on your understanding of microeconomic theories. What about policy relevance? Policy is not only about education. Policies traverses the entire sectors of an economy: production, consumption, socialization, social well-being, transportation, name it. All of these sectors as embedded in our economy requires one policy or the other. The use of microeconomic knowledge help us to evaluate and test the feasibility of our policies. And better still, how well should we design and implement our policies? I am sure you must have heard about policy adaptation. In other words, there is nothing wrong in you copying a policy that works so well in another economy. But is it the right thing to just import that policy and say you're going to implement it wholeheartedly just like that? No. And that is why the knowledge of microeconomics is very, very important. Application oriented. Microeconomics application transverses all knowledge space. I'm always excited when I teach management sciences students because it gives us an opportunity to help you appreciate how you can apply your understanding of microeconomics in your various fields. Earlier on, I mentioned that for students of insurance, every car owner in Nigeria is expected to purchase an insurance policy. This simply means the demand for insurance. For management science students, students of business administration, you talk about managing the resources within the organization. That refers to application of the theory of production, because you are going to learn in this course of the study that the output which your organization desires is a function of the capital investments, the labor employed, and the technological know-how which the company has invested in, learning from our Cobb-Douglas production theory. And for students in human resources and employment, when we get to labor market theory, you will understand better how this theory can guide your decision to hire, to retain, and to fire. In economics, firing your labor is not an emotional thing, because theories are there to guide us, to let us know when you can employ more labor, at what point you should stop employment of labor, and there are situations where you might need to ease off some units of labor in order for you to be able to maximize your production potential. What does this tell us, dear participants? The application of microeconomics is diverse. Stemming from demand to supply to every decision you make as an individual or as a group of students, to examining how relevant policies are within our given environment and our ability to apply it to our various courses of study. Very soon, I'm going to divide every one of us into groups. I'm going to divide us into groups. We are going to have a short exercise. I want to see how you can both deliberate among yourselves, come up with little points, and you come back to present to us. You have just 10 minutes to do that. But before we go into that, let me give you a brief definition of positive and normative questions in microeconomics. Remember what Prof said at the beginning of this session. For us in University of Lagos, no question is considered foolish. No question is considered stupid. However, there are two important questions that you must take note of in order for you to be able to apply microeconomics knowledge effectively. The first question is the positive question. So if you go to our recommended textbook on page 28, you'll see there, microeconomics is concerned with two important questions, positive and normative questions. Which is better between these two questions has been a subject of debate. But there is a general consensus that both questions should complement one another. Positive questions helps us to describe, to explain, and to be able to make predictions in economics without any emotional feelings. Let me give you a very good example because there are evidences to show that in Nigeria, we are more emotional than fact-based. A foreigner once told me that he came to Nigeria and spent 1 year, and that what he loves so much about us is when you ask for direction. Take, for example, you ask a very simple question such as, how far is Moremi Hall from the Faculty of Arts building? Typical of every Lagosian, what do you think the response will be? Who can tell us? If you're sure of yourself, just let's raise up our hands. I'll call you. Typical of every Lagosian, if you ask, how far is Moremi Hall from the Faculty of Arts building? What kind of response would you get? Who is willing to try? You can use the reactionary. Yes, Taiwo, please unmute and give us your response.
Oh, good morning, sir. I'll just be more positive.
Good morning.
Yeah.
No, let's not be theoretical now. Let's not be theoretical. I want us to be practical. What kind of response are you likely to get?
They would, it's normally we'd actually tell them where it is. They wouldn't be like, how would I say? Like I've seen this thing where people go up to other foreigners in a different country and they will just ignore them. But in Nigeria Nigerian is more likely to answer you, like tell you where to go.
Oh, okay, okay. Yes, any other person? I can see more hands. Yes, any other person? Yes, Alabi. Afolabi Wahid. Please unmute.
All right, sir. Good morning, Mr. Shit. Good morning, Dr. Shitu.
Good morning.
Yeah. All right. As a typical Nigerian.
So what likely responses are you like going to get? Yes.
All right. As a typical Nigerian and a bona fide student of University of Lagos, I'll say it's not that far now. You can even like trek itself. I mean, it's very close. I mean, that's my own response, sir.
Thank you. It's not that far now. Good. Any other person? Let's hear one or two more. Then we move on. Yes, Anastasia.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. If somebody could ask me that kind of question, sir, like pragmatically speaking and not be theoretical, I will tell the person that is trackable, that is not far. So that's what I'll tell the person, sir.
It is it is trackable. It is not far. Thank you. Let's
Yes,
hear
sir.
from a female. Let's hear from a female. Yes,
Good
let's
morning,
hear from
sir.
our female participant. Good morning.
So typically, what you expect is you hear it's not fun now. Come, let me even show you safe. It's just here.
Aha, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We were used to that. Oh, it's not far now. And sometimes some would tell you sarcastically, and they are looking so serious that it is very far. Do you understand? And so he was asking me, please let's mute if you're not speaking. So he was not asking me that why do we find it difficult to relate our distances in real measurement terms? That, oh, Moremi to Art Block is just about 2 minutes walk, or it's about 3 minutes walk. But we just say, it's far. So he got used to that slang that, it's far, oh, it's far. Oh. So when I saw him, he said, what he took away from Nigeria is, it's far, oh, it's no, it's not far. Oh. And when I left the shores of the country too, after our discussion, I tried that too, that, okay, how far is the train station from this very point? The response I got is, oh, the train station from here is about 20 kilometers. You need to go by bus. And I was just like, indeed, I have tested this hypothesis that we seems to be more emotional. Is that okay? So that's why it is important for us to have an understanding of positive and normative economics, positive and normative analysis of positive and normative questions. So when you say a question is positive in nature or an analysis is positive in nature, it simply means that it is fact-based. There is nothing like I think, them say, I heard. Have you heard? No. You have to look at the data and speak to what the data is saying. And that is why we say that positive questions are simply what is question. What is my name? Ayodele Shitu. If someone else comes to you and say, I'm Ayodele Shitu, lecturer in the Department of Economics, you look at the person's face very well, isn't it? Because it is verifiable. You can always go to the Department of Economics to confirm that look at this picture. This man says is Ayodele Shitu. Is he your staff? They look at him and say, yes, we have Ayodele Shitu, but this is not the Ayodele Shitu that works with us. Positive questions are objective in nature. And what do we mean by objectivity? It simply means that these are questions that are void of value, judgment, or personal sentiments. And when you say that a question is positive, it means that you can collect data, you can write a model, you can test the model, you can test hypotheses, and derive conclusions from all the analyses that you have done. So in other words, the outcome are predictive in nature. So if someone tells me now that Moremi is 2 minutes work away from Art Block, I can pick my wristwatch and start in front of Art Block, and I click start and I start walking. And by the time I get to Moremi, it takes 5 minutes. I can call you back and say, oh boy, you are wrong. Oh. You told me Moremi, it's 2 minutes walk. But when I timed myself at exactly 5 minutes, I got to Moremi. So you are wrong. Please take note. It is 5 minutes walk from the art block. But where it is impossible for us to get data, but we're only working on assumptions, believe, or based on what we are hearing up and down, then that is normative. I heard that. Is it true? That is normative. It addresses the what ought to be question or what should be question. And unlike positive, normative questions are value reading. They are based on opinions. They are subjective. And in fact, your cultural background, your religious background, or even the societal norm can actually influence what you think. Cases are not predictive. In nature. So we are going to be divided into groups. You have 10 minutes to work on this as a team. Pick a representative who would come back to us when we come back into this room to present your deliberation. What I simply want from you is we've had the description of positive economics, normative economics. So I want you to come up with strong 3 potential criteria for you to be able to tell us the differences between the two. This is 907. So at about 10 minutes time, we would all come back. So I'm dividing us into 20 rooms, and that means that, let me make it 25. So at about 10 minutes time, please, what you're going to watch out for now, there's going to be a number on your screen. Click on that number. That is the room you belong to. So please go there. You have listened to my explanation of positive questions, normative questions, but as a team, come up with 3 block criterion that you can use to differentiate between these two concepts. So the room is now open. We would be back at exactly 9:20 for floor discussions. Thank you very much. I'll be going from one room to the other to listen to your deliberations. Please click on the number and join the room where you belong to. Hope to see you back in 10 minutes. Thank you. Please click on the number you see on your screen. It will take you automatically to the room where you are supposed to be.
Hello.
Yeah, I have network issues and as I was just been joining. I've been logged out and I kept joining, please. And I'm here to be assigned to the groups I've been assigned to. I've logged out and logged in, please. Yeah, I don't know how you guys like this game here.
Oh, fuck.
Mr. Faculty, always learn to keep your mind muted.
So you are welcome back to the main group. Dr. Situ will come up now to take up you on your outcomes. I hope you have your leaders who's presenting for you. And please quickly put up your point together and get your leader to have that. And you can still, while we are in the mainstream, you can still be chatting yourself to be able to be sure that, because we are capturing those presentations for each group.
Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you, sir. All right, you're all welcome back, and I appreciate. I'm very grateful. Some called out for help, and were very proactive to visit their respective rooms to sort out the gray areas. All right, because of yes, Abad, Precious.
Good morning, sir. So I think I was left out of my
Good morning, Herbert.
Yeah, please,
I
was
can
not
barely hear you.
oh, sorry about that. Please, can you now? Can you now hear me, sir?
It's blurry. I'm actually straining my ears to hear you. Please type on the chat box. I'll read it up. Please chat whatever you have in mind on the chat box. I'll read it from there. I can barely hear you, Precious.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Apologies for that. Yes, please type on the chat box if you can hear me. I will read it up from the chat box. All right. So because of time, I have penciled down 5 teams using the odd rule, even and odd rule. So we are going to be calling on team 1. We will call on team 3, team 15, team 17, and team 25. So those are the 5 teams that we are going to call on. Dear participants, please mute your phone, your mic. Please mute your mic. Okay, please mute your mic. All right. So team 1, members of team 1, if you're ready. Members
Good morning,
of team
sir.
1, who is presenting on your behalf? Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
We are with you.
I'll be presenting on behalf of team 1.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. I'll be deliberating on what is positive economics and normative economics. So I'll give us the definition of what it stands for before I go into the key differences of their key differences rather. So am I permitted to go on, sir?
Please go on.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Now, what is positive economics? Positive economics is talking about being real, being factual, being direct. It also goes beyond that to talk about economic trends, what is going on like around the country, around the world. It deals with like not being biased, not dealing with what's it called, value judgment. While normative economics is at the opposite end. Normative economics is dealing with people who are being like on your thoughts. This is okay. For example, now you say this ought to be, it's supposed to be like this. There is no facts backing it. There's no data backing it. You're just being based on your mood, based on your feeling. It ought to be like this. It's supposed to be like this. Now, what are the key differences between positive economics and normative economics? Now, I'll be giving us the key differences between for positive economics first before I go into the normative economics. Now, for positive economics, what is the key difference, the characteristics of positive economics? One, it is descriptive. Positive economics aims to describe economic events, trends, and relationships. Secondly, it is objective. It strives to be neutral and unbiased. There's no form of being unbiased. They are always straight and they deal with data, they deal with facts. Anything they are saying has been proven. So they can't just come and wake up one morning and come and say what they choose to because of the way they feel or because the way it ought to be. No, it's talking about facts and it's dealing with facts with everything it's doing. Now, what is the third thing? It's empirical. Positive economics relies on data to support evidence. Like I said initially, it deals with data. Before they conclude on anything, they must have done their analysis, they must have researched, they must have taken necessary steps in order for them to arrive at a conclusion. And I'll be going into the characteristics of what normative economics is all about. It is prescriptive. Normative economics aims to prescribe economic values and action. It is subjective. It involves value judgment, personal opinion, how you feel. Okay, it's supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this. From your own motive, from your own point of view. And the third is goal-oriented. It focuses on achieving specific economic goals or objective. While the positive economics talks about economic trend, it involves a wider range, but the normative economics is just subjected to just a specific place, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you very much, Chijoke. I actually timed you, and I'm shocked that my bell wasn't ringing now. That's why you see me trying to put the phone very close to my ear to understand what was going on. I thought that it would ring out so that you get alerted that it's exactly 2 minutes. So every team has 2 minutes. Anyway, I appreciate the fact that you've identified some specific areas of differences, which is the descriptive, the objectivity, and empirical. And just as you said, positive is descriptive, normative is not. Positive is objective, normative is not. Positive questions require empirical verification. Normative questions do not require empirical verification. It's just more of feelings, opinions, and co. Thank you to Team 1. And for anyone who has a question, please feel free as they are presenting, whatever they say which you do not understand, you can always drop it on the chat box. I will read out the question from there. Thank you very much. All right, so we go to team 3. Team 3, 2 minutes.
Sir.
Team 3, 2 minutes.
Good morning, sir. My name is Obede Flora. I'll be speaking on behalf of.
Good morning.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. So I'll be
Loud and
talking
clear.
on three differences. I'll be talking on three differences between positive and normative economics. Number one, positive economics describes the economy as it is. For example, let's use an example. A plate of rice in a restaurant in Moremi Hostel costs 1,000 naira. Then normative economics describes how the economy should be. For example, a plate of rice in a restaurant in Moremi Hostel should cost 500 naira per plate. Number two, positive economics focuses on the facts and data that we have presently in the economy. For example, according to a survey carried out by some people, we figured out that 70% of females in Moremi Hostel prefer jollof rice to fried rice whenever they buy food in this restaurant. And the normative economics here involves opinions and value judgments. That is, opinion of the person speaking and value judgment of the person carrying out this research. So the example for this would be, I think the cafeteria's jollof rice is overpriced. That's my. Then for my third example, to differentiate between positive economics and normative economics, positive economics is concerned with what is happening currently in the economy. For example, the demand of rice or jollof rice or the demand of a plate of jollof rice increases during exam period, meaning more students buy more jollof rice during this exam period. Then the normative economics will be concerned with what ought to be happening in the economy presently. For example, the school should provide free jollof rice to students during exam periods. So for this example, for positive, it says that people buy sorry, the demand for jollof rice increased during exam periods. People buy more plates of jollof rice during exam periods, while the normative side of this particular example is saying that the school should give out free plates of jollof rice to students who actually demand for this particular product stuff. So that's what I understand. I just picked out, we brainstormed together and we picked out the three main differences we think between positive economics and normative economics.
Thank
So
you
does
very
anybody have any question regarding
much,
what I just
Laura. If I had my way, I would speak to the Dean of Student Affairs that all the ladies in your team should be given more hostel when school resumes, when the hostels are open. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate that you've gone the extra mile to provide examples for all the criteria that you have identified. Thank you very much. I hope other teams are also listening and learning. Is that okay? So this is all about you. It's not about us now. We are here to just guide you. So we go to team 15.
Good morning, sir.
Team
My name is
15.
Good
Good
morning, sir. My name is
morning.
Nadite, and I'll be representing team 15. So when we talk about the
Okay.
distinction between positive and normative economics, positive economics is concerned with what actually happened, like what is happening in the economy presently, while normative economics deals with what ought to happen or what should happen. That is, positive economics is descriptive and value-free, and normative economics is value-based and prescriptive. It's always suggesting, oh, it should be like this, it should be like this. But positive economics deals with the actual facts, the things that are testable. I'll be giving 3 scenarios, and I'll put side by side the positive side and the normative side. Now, a fall in demand for the product of a labor-intensive industry like Nigeria will cause unemployment in the economy. That is positive economics. It's factual. But the normative part would say the government ought to implement policies to protect labor-intensive industries in Nigeria, as a decline in demand will lead to unemployment. Another scenario is this: the surge in global demand for agricultural products has led to an increase in prices, resulting in higher revenues for Nigerian farmers and higher cost of living. This is very factual. And, based on what is happening, many people even understand that, oh, the prices of goods in the market has increased. People's purchasing power is decreased. But a normative suggestion of this same statement to be the government ought to intervene to balance the benefits of higher revenues for Nigerian farmers with the need to protect consumers from rising food prices and increased cost of living. That is suggesting what should be done. But the previous one was stating what is happening. So also, another scenario is there will be a rise in the general price level, that is inflation, whenever the supply of money outstrips the supply of goods and services. That is positive economics. But the normative one would just say the government ought to intervene to curb inflation levels. In 2 minutes, that is what I have been able to use to differentiate between positive economics and normative economics. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wasn't expecting anything less because when I visited your room, it was quite engaging. Thank you very much, Najita, for representing team 15 very well. I appreciate you all. All right, so let's go to team 17. Team 17. Team 17. Not okay, good morning.
My name is Blessed. I'm representing Group 17, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. So The question is, what are three differences between positive and normative questions? Yes, sir. So, for the three differences I'll be giving, I would explain each of them with this example. So, for positive question, I'll go with what is the unemployment rate in the country? And then for normative, the question will be, should the government reduce taxes? Now, the first difference I would like to take is the scope of discussion. Yeah. For positive questions focuses on the facts and descriptions without considering whether the situation is good or bad. We are not putting in personal opinions. It is whether the situation is good or bad. Like the question I raised, what is the unemployment rate in the country? For normative questions, it focuses on judgments, it focuses on ethics and opinions about what is desirable or not. Like should the government reduce taxes? It's normative questions are based on our own personal judgment and what we believe in. Yes. And the next point I'll be taking is testing and verification. Yes. For positive questions, the questions can be tested and verified through objective, they can be verified through observations and experiments and analysis. Like the question, what is the unemployment rate in the country? We have been taught in economics how to calculate many things relating to employment. Yes. So the question, what is the unemployment rate in the country, can be calculated through statistics. But for normative questions, you cannot they cannot be tested or verified because they are based on our own opinions, moral principles. Like the question, should the government reduce taxes? That question is subjective to everybody. It's subjective to anybody. Anybody can come out and say, yes, the government should reduce taxes because of this, and the government should not reduce taxes because of this. It's personal, it is subjective to everybody from their own point of view. And the third point I would like to differentiate is a purpose. For positive questions aims to understand or explain the world as it is. It comes to explain what is happening, what is going on. Like the question, what is the unemployment rate in the country? It's going to explain the rate at which people are unemployed in the country. But for normative questions, it aims to describe what should be done or what is right. Just like I said, normative questions are subjective to everybody's opinion. Like the question, should the government reduce taxes? It is talking about what should be done. Is this right? Is this not right? If the government reduce taxes, how does it have effect on me? It's quite subjective. So positive questions aims to understand what is going on, while normative explains what should be and what should
All
not
right.
be.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's hear from the last team, Team 25. Team 25.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Olanrewaju. How
Yes, I'm fine. So I'll be
are you
representing for group
today?
25. Fine. I'm very fine, sir. So
Okay.
I'm stating out the difference between the normative and positive question in microeconomics. First I have on my list is normative question. Focuses on what economics outcome ought to be, such as what is the optimum level of income inequalities, or should the government intervene in the market to correct externalities? Another one we have, so that's on sorry, conversion. On normative, we have normative questions focuses on what government outcome ought to be, such as what is the optimum level of income inequalities. While positive question focuses on explaining or predicting economic outcome, such as what is the effect of tax increase on consumer behavior. Another one we have value judgment and objectivities. Normative questions involve value judgment and subjective opinions, such as is a 10% tax rate fair, or should the government prioritize economic growth over environmental protection? while positive questions aim to be objective and value-free, such as what is the elasticity of demand for a particular product, or how do change in market structure affect firm behavior. So the third on my list is policy implication and recommendation. Normative questions often implies policy recommendation or prescriptions, such as the government should implement a carbon tax to reduce emission, or government should be required to provide health insurance to their employees. While positive question focuses on understanding economic phenomena without making policy recommendation, such as what is the effect of carbon tax on economic growth. Another one is, so I just want to add this on list, like policy positive question. Like you can say, is the current state of the hostels satisfactory? While under normative, we say, is it fair to prioritize renovating hostels for freshmen over other students? Like like renovating hostels. You can say, should the university prioritize consulting over? So I think I should stop here. My time is over. Okay. Thank you.
All right, let me make a very quick correction there. Let me make the last examples you gave are questionable. Okay. Should university, come again, should university privatize hostel? The last example you gave, please.
Is it fair? Is it fair
again.
to prioritize renovating hostels for freshmen over other students? That was the example I gave.
All right. That is for what? Is that positive or normative question?
Normative question.
That's normative. That's
yes.
normative. Is that okay? Because the question of what is fair is subjective. What is fair to you may not be fair to me. Are we together? So that is subjective in nature. And I noted that down when I heard that catchy word, fair. Okay, fantastic. Well done to all the teams. Now, should this come out in examination, what is expected of you? Yes, you have all tried. I love everything that was said. And this is what I have been able to put together along with the team. So you can see our basis of differentiation, that is by focus. Positive question focuses on what is, while normative question focuses on what ought to be. In terms of nature, positive questions are descriptive in nature. They are fact-based, while normative questions are prescriptive in nature and they are value-based. In terms of testability, positive questions are data-driven. They can be tested empirically and can be validated, while normative questions are subjective in nature. They are opinion-driven. They cannot be tested, neither can they be validated objectively. Yes, in the area of importance as well, they have their roles which they play. Positive questions are important because they inform policy decisions by deepening cause-effect analysis. And on the other hand, normative questions are important because they can actually stimulate debates. They can arouse discussions about policy implications and provide deeper insights into emerging causes and effects that may be associated with policies. And that's why we say that you to be wrong to say that positive questions are more important than normative, or normative is more important. than the positive. Both can actually complement. And I also expect that you provide examples, which many of us have done as we showcased during our presentation. What is the effect of tax on consumer demand? So for the positive, for the normative side, should the government increase taxes in order to reduce inequalities? Okay, so what a good outing for all of us. And now, um, why should you? Why should you take microeconomics seriously, everyone? Thus far today, you have seen that when you have a mastery of microeconomics as a subject, it will enhance your capacity to make good decisions. Okay. Number two, you must be aware that of the ongoing debate, rather, that university graduates today are unemployable. One of the reasons why employers detest the qualities of students that we churn out in the university today is the fact that many are lacking in critical thinking and analytical skills. I am not saying here authoritatively that only microeconomics will infuse in you critical thinking and analytical skills. No. But when you have a mastery of microeconomics theory, its principles, and its application, it will help you to hone your critical thinking ability as well as your analytical skills. This was specifically mentioned at the beginning of this session when Professor Saibu was addressing us. And that is one of the reasons why we may consider not having MCQ as examination mode for this course. You are expected to be able to put down your pen on paper to think, to analyze, and to write down what your outcome is. When you have a mastery of microeconomics theory and principle, it helps you to understand general economic studies, intermediary economic studies, as well as advanced economic studies, because microeconomics is the foundation of all economic studies. This will also help you to understand the impulse of policy design and evaluation. And of course, it is applicable to our everyday life. You may not be an economist, but we all practice economics every day. And because you're studying accounting or taxation or insurance, actuarial science, or even business management or marketing, does not mean that microeconomics is irrelevant. No, it is relevant to your everyday life. And by the time you are graduating in the next 2 years, you realize that irrespective of the career you pursue or the industry in which you find yourself, your success on the job will also be anchored on how or the extent to which you are willing to put to use the knowledge you have acquired from this course. Dear participants, today What have we learned? We have tried our best to look at why microeconomics is unique as a study, the relevancies of microeconomic theories were mentioned, particularly we cited that of consumption theories, production theories, labor market theories, market theories generally, and welfare theories, which we would consider during the course of this semester. I find it very interesting that you all were able to come up with different criteria to justify the differences between positive and normative analysis in economics. And we have just spoke to the importance of microeconomics knowledge. Before we round up for today's session, I would love to hear from you. Are there still areas that are gray and you want me to provide more explanation? Are there areas of concern that you want me to speak to? Please, now is the time for us to hear from you again. You can signify by raising up your hand using the reactionary buttons. Okay, yes, I can see one hand up, two. All right, Adams David, you have the floor. Please unmute your mic and speak to all of us.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Adams.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I have a question. So, sir, this is my question. Using Nigeria as a case study, can we say that the issue of fuel subsidy and the issue of us importing more than export is based on which approach? Is it positive or normative economics approach? Then, sir, my second question is that the positive economics approach, I want to ask that the judgment and the stats that they use, is it that they don't look at the negative consequences of using those data, or they just anything they just use it like that? They don't look at the negative consequence. So, sir, that's my question.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
The question of fuel subsidy, both of them are, we can say it is positive, we can also say it is negative. Take for example, it is evident by data that demand actually outweighs the supply. Is that okay? So that decision, that conclusion was informed by data. However, the government's decision to take away subsidy just like that, we can classify that as what? Normative. What should the government do? We should stop subsidy. And based on that personal opinion, Mr. President stood on the podium on the day of his inauguration and announced subsidy is gone. Are we together? So that is normative in nature. And that's why we said in economics, we cannot shy away from, you cannot rank one above the other. Okay? Then the other one, which is, don't we consider negative implications? Of course we do. Of course we do. And that is why it is expected that you must do empirical analysis. And don't forget, when you build your mathematical model, because of our economics understanding of ceteris paribus, all things being equal, we know that in reality, there cannot be an exact relationship between two or more variables. Consequently, we have what we call the econometrics modeling. And by the time you apply econometrics modeling, estimate that model, the sign in front of your coefficient, your coefficient, now the sign of your coefficient tells you whether the relationship will be positive, which of course can have a positive impact or a negative impact, or if it is negative, it tells you that the relationship is negative, which may also have positive or negative consequences. Is that okay? Now, in terms of we now prioritizing and paying more attention to negative consequences now is a function of our ability to look at all analysis holistically. And there are models in economics that speaks to that. For example, general equilibrium modeling. And recently, many of the development multilateral agencies now are calling for another approach, particularly for developing countries now, to embrace what we call experimental economics. What does this mean? When you have a policy in mind, rather than just going out and implementing the policy jacket-wise across the entire country, you can pick a particular small location, apply the policy, test it, and see whether it is efficient or not. If yes, then you can now open it up to the entire country. So what I feel is missing all along is that timing, that consciousness to pay attention to testing these policies either before implementation or during implementation to be able to ascertain whether they are effective. Economics has a role. Normative economics also have it. Field of economics today for research methodologies now, the emphasis is to embrace a mix of the two approaches to look into what should be in acceptable policy that would make sense of the people. Thank you. Any other person? Any other person? All right, thank you, Adams, for that question. Before we round up for today, I would love to bring back Prof. again, Professor Saibu. Is Prof still with us?
I'm here with you, sir.
All right, Prof. A closing and parting word from you before we round up, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I want to sincerely appreciate you and thank you for this your wonderful presentation and this participatory approach you adopted in ensuring that everybody participated in the class and the opportunity you gave for them to be able to make their input. Like we said at the beginning, we are co-learning and co-facilitating. And those of you who spoke, you were facilitating, you were teaching us, and you were teaching everybody. So we want to thank you. I almost joined almost all the rooms. There are some rooms that at initial stage, they could not even decide who will talk, who will speak. And specifically, I appreciate one lady, Ashake by name, that when the room was dull, quiet, nobody was talking, she pick up and then she make the class to be lively. So that's good. I want others again who are still feeling shy to always come up and speak. This a break in a rooms that comprise only you yourself, and indeed you are not even seeing anybody. So, and this is an opportunity for you to develop your public speaking, your confidence, and to come out of your shell and be able to reach out to the world that there are some things in you that you can share as a value, for which you can also exchange for greater values. So I want to encourage you to use this opportunity and the approach adopted by our facilitator to ensure that we are all part of this. So you will be experiencing much of this. And I can assure you, when we are meeting next time, we will have more than one breakout sessions, so that those of you who also want to speak can also have opportunity of speaking. But like we said, please pick that materials, read them very well, understand them. When we are meeting, we will want you more to speak than this. And also we want to have a situation that by the time we are leaving this course, we are better informed, and also we have something to apply to the industries. So our discussion is not ending only in class. You have opportunity of reaching out privately to ask ask us any question regarding this course. Even beyond that, anything relating to economics course we are doing, you can take advantage of this opportunity to relate with us. So, Dr. Shitu, thank you very much. And as you promised, you will share these materials with them, both on this WhatsApp group and the LMS. And also, I will drop just a short multiple choice question to you, so we share with them, so let them interact with it. And please don't pick the answers as true or false as you have it. Please read those questions very well and understand it, and because it's very easy for you to use any of this AI to generate the answer. And if you do that without understanding it, you are deceiving yourself. A day will come when your AI will not be AI, will be A0. And therefore, it depends on your natural intelligence. And in that case, you may fail yourself. So please, as we are using AI to aid learning, we should not turn AI to become our God, our Lord. So please, as much as possible, let us also be part of anything we are doing. Let us use our intelligence. Let us use our skill, our knowledge, our potentials, and also be part. So let us also be one that we create another AI that we will use. Unless we build our capacity, we use our resourcefulness, and also deploy our talents. Sincerely speaking, we may not get to that place we see as if it's impossible, because there's nothing impossible for us to achieve when we act naturally and originally. So thank you very much. We will get across to you. And in most cases, you will be relating with Dr. Shitu more. It's only when it's critically important that you need to get across to me. So because we are very close, we are together, and we are one in one. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. All right, thank you very much, Prof. Thank you to our entire team of participants. We sincerely appreciate you. Yes, the recorded version will be dropped on the WhatsApp group. I'll provide you with the link with which you can access the recorded version for you to listen. And for others who are unable to join the WhatsApp group, perhaps who are watching via the YouTube channel, can also, have unlimited access to the recorded version. On this note, I sincerely want to thank you all, and we meet same time next week by 8 a.m. Please enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.
Class not finished.